What if I told you that thousands of years ago, women were giving birth without hospitals, without anesthesia, without a single doctor in sight? And many of them walked out looking stronger than before they went in? No painkillers, no sterile rooms, no monitors beeping in the background. Just women, instinct, and a knowledge system so advanced that modern science is only now starting to understand it. So how did ancient women survive one of the most physically brutal experiences a human body can go through and still look radiant, strong, and healthy afterward? The answer is stranger, smarter, and more surprising than you'd expect. Let's rewind the clock. Not by decades, not even by centuries, but by tens of thousands of years. Childbirth has always been one of the most dangerous events a human body could face. Even today, with all our technology, it carries risk, but ancient women faced it without a single modern tool. And yet, entire civilizations were built on the backs of mothers who survived it, recovered from it, and thrived afterward. This isn't just a story about biology, it's a story about human resilience. And by the end of this video, you'll understand something most people never learn in school. Ancient women weren't lucky. They were prepared. Let's start with the biggest myth. Most people assume ancient childbirth was just women lying down and hoping for the best. That's completely wrong. Childbirth in ancient societies was almost never a solo event. It was a team effort. Anthropologists studying hunter-gatherer societies have found that women rarely gave birth alone. They were surrounded by experienced female relatives, elder midwives, and sometimes the whole female community. This wasn't emotional support, it was survival strategy. Researchers call this the doula effect. Continuous support during labor, someone holding your hand, guiding your breathing, keeping you calm, has been shown to shorten labor and reduce complications. Ancient women didn't need a study to tell them that. They already knew it. When a woman in labor feels safe, her body produces more oxytocin, the hormone responsible for contractions, bonding, and even pain reduction. Fear does the opposite. It floods the body with stress hormones that can slow labor down. So ancient communities weren't just being kind, they were biologically optimizing the birth. Pretty smart for people with no medical degrees, right? But here's where things get weird. Human babies are born with unusually large heads, and human hips are relatively narrow because we walk upright. This mismatch is sometimes called the obstetrical dilemma. For decades, scientists believed evolution trapped women in an impossible trade-off. Walk efficiently or give birth easily, not both. More recent research suggests it's not quite that simple. The real limitation may not be pelvis width at all, but how much energy a woman's body can supply during pregnancy. Which is why babies are born before their brains fully develop, continuing to grow rapidly outside the womb. Either way, one thing is certain. Human birth is uniquely difficult compared to almost every other mammal on Earth. A baby zebra can run from a lion within an hour of being born. A human baby can't even hold up its own head. Nature clearly didn't get the memo that we needed backup. So if birth was this hard, how did ancient women recover so fast and look so healthy afterward? This is where the story gets even more fascinating. The secret wasn't a miracle, it was a system. Across cultures, from ancient China to Mesoamerica to parts of Africa and the Middle East, there existed a shared idea. The weeks after birth were treated as sacred recovery time. In China, this period was called sitting the month. In Latin America, it was known as la cuarentena. Different names, same core idea. New mothers weren't expected to instantly bounce back to daily labor. They were fed nutrient-dense foods, kept warm, given rest, and cared for by other women. This wasn't pampering, it was survival wisdom passed down for generations. Nutrient-rich broths, iron-heavy foods, and warm meals helped replace blood loss and support hormone regulation. Massage techniques improved circulation and helped the uterus contract back to size. Community childcare allowed mothers to actually rest, something modern mothers often don't get enough of. Sound simple? It was, but it worked because it addressed exactly what the female body needed most: nutrition, warmth, and rest. Nature had already written the recovery manual. Ancient societies just followed it. But here's something even more surprising. Ancient women rarely gave birth lying flat on their backs, the position that later became standard in Western hospitals for centuries. Instead, many cultures used upright positions, squatting, kneeling, standing while holding onto a support. Gravity actually assists labor when a woman is upright. It can shorten labor time and reduce strain. Some researchers believe the widespread shift to lying down birth in modern history had more to do with doctor convenience than biological advantage. Imagine explaining that to your ancestors. We moved you to your back so I could see better. They'd probably just squat anyway and ignore you completely. Now here's where evolution had another plan entirely. One that explains why ancient mothers didn't just survive childbirth, but often looked strong doing it. Ancient women weren't sedentary during pregnancy. Their daily lives involved constant physical movement, walking, gathering, farming, carrying loads. This wasn't a workout plan, it was simply life. But that consistent physical activity built strength and muscles that directly support childbirth. The core, the pelvic floor, the lower back. A body that moves every day builds resilience automatically. Modern research confirms this too. Physically active pregnancies are linked to shorter labor, fewer complications, and faster postpartum recovery. So while it might look like ancient women had superhuman recovery, the truth is simpler. Their bodies were already conditioned for it, every single day, without a gym membership in sight. But let's pause here because there's a part of this story people often leave out. Ancient childbirth wasn't a fairy tale. Maternal mortality throughout most of human history was tragically high. Historians and anthropologists estimate that death during or shortly after childbirth was one of the leading causes of death for women for most of human history. The women we're describing, the ones who recovered, who looked strong, who thrived, often survived because of the very systems we just explored. Community support, movement, nutrition, skilled elder midwives who had seen hundreds of births and knew how to respond when something went wrong. The ones without that support were far more vulnerable. So in a strange way, the glow ancient women often displayed after childbirth wasn't just biology. It was the visible result of an entire community working together to keep a mother alive and strong. Health in this story was never a solo achievement. It was collective. This changes how we should think about looking healthy after birth. It wasn't a secret beauty ritual. It was the outcome of strength built over years, care given by an entire community, and recovery practices refined across countless generations of trial, loss, and survival. So the next time you imagine ancient childbirth, don't picture fear and helplessness. Picture teamwork. Picture inherited knowledge passed from grandmother to mother to daughter. Picture bodies trained by daily life, minds calmed by trusted companions, and communities built around the idea that no woman should face this moment alone. Modern medicine has given us incredible tools to make birth safer, but maybe there's still something ancient societies understood that we're only beginning to remember, that recovery isn't just physical, it's social. So here's a question worth sitting with. In a world full of medical advancements, have we gained more than we've lost? Or did we forget something ancient women always knew? If you enjoyed exploring this mystery, subscribe to The Primal Logic for more fascinating stories about humans, nature, science, and the hidden reasons behind the world around us.